Hello there, Ringside Crew.
Hello there, Ringside Crew.
Hey dudes at Ringside Crew, this is Davian.
Hey, it's Jenny Santana.
This is Elsie.
This is the Savage Juggernaut, Tamaku.
Inside Ring!
This is Thomas D. Bruff.
This is Billy Starks.
Mr. Chad Epic.
Megan Mason.
Hey everybody, Scotland's own Brody Adler.
The headliner in charge, Marco Mania.
This is your girl Charisma.
Papa Dink, Brendan Dicker.
This is According to Woods.
Savannah Summers.
I'm Shorty.
Catherine Inside.
You are watching
The internationally known
Dudes at Ringside podcast, hosted by Metal Geek and Joe the Panther Jr.
Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to the birthday celebration. Another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe. Your party kitty himself, the Panther, the Third, and now from the top of a very balloony, streamerly type of metal mountain, it's Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, International? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Joe? How's it going today? You know something, Joe? I got to tell you something, man. I had a lot of monsters today. You got to buy some Monster, Joe. You got to buy some Monster, you know, because Monster is the king right now. Monster, please sponsor Dudes at Ringside. Reigns, please sponsor Dudes at Ringside. Monster is the king.
Geek, you need to calm down and drink a cup of coffee or drink a bottle of water or something.
I think that would just make it worse, Joe.
You need to go lay in the corner and sleep. I don't know, man. You ready to introduce a very important guest today?
Yeah. So this lady right here is the champion of Liberty Pro Women's Wrestling. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to $1 Million Baby.
Hello, everyone.
What's going on? How's it going?
Well, welcome to the Dudes at Ringside, champ. So, if our fans are not familiar with you, and why would they not be, introduce yourself.
Okay. $1 Million Baby. I wrestle out of West Tennessee. I've mainly wrestled the Mid-South area, and I started at a young age of 14 years old. Thankfully, I had family that was in the wrestling business, and I was just actually going to watch them train. And I just used to watch, you know, pretty much them take bumps and learn new moves and stuff. And they asked me one day if I was interested in doing it. And I was like, well, all I see is men do it. So I was like, sure, why not? And so I started training and then became a professional wrestler.
So who trained you?
The ones who trained me was, I trained under several different people, actually. It was Motley Cruz, Devon all day. I trained some with Kilo. My dad at the time, he started wrestling in Florida, and he was going by Big Brad Simpson. And then there was a bunch of them that is wrestling now that were all actually training at the same time. Zay Washington, I don't know if anybody knows him. He's really big in the area. I wrestled with my brother, Jay Rage, T-Pain, the Curry brothers. There's a bunch of us that have actually grown up, and we all started out training in a little town called Trenton, by the way. And we all just pretty much came together with, like I said, several different trainers that was teaching class. Everybody had a certain way they taught different or whatever, and we all just kind of went with the flow. We also they pretty much taught us old school, so they really worked us to death, is what I like to say. It wasn't kind of like a slap on the wrist and, hey, let's go. You know, whose butt did you kiss to get where you are? You actually had to work your way to get to where you were.
All right. So what was your first match like in front of a crowd? Exactly.
The nerves were there for sure. You kind of like have a whole adrenaline rush come over your body, and it's kind of like you don't know how to control it because you've never felt that way before. Hearing the fans, either if you're a good guy, you know, cheer you on, or if you're a bad guy, hearing them boo you, there's no other feeling like that, actually. I don't know, it's just like adrenaline you can't control that first match, and then you fall in love with it after that one time.
Mm-hmm. So who did you say your dream opponent is to wrestle against?
My dream opponent. Okay, so when I was younger, I used to watch WWE all the time with my grandpa, and I always wanted to be like Trish Stratus. So I would still like to work her for sure. On the indie scene, it'd probably be like Dream Girl Ellie, Billy Starks. Really, I'd like to wrestle anybody I haven't had a chance to wrestle with, just to learn and take in new lessons or learn something new. I feel like you're always learning something in wrestling.
Yeah, Billy Starks, by the way, is amazing, by the way. So we've had her on the podcast. She's absolutely awesome, you know?
Yeah, she really, I've watched several of her videos. She's pretty good.
And she totally works the crowd. Like, she works the crowd like crazy. Like
see, to me, that's like one important main factor of being a wrestler. You've got to know how to work your crowd.
She's definitely going to get signed by somebody. Somebody's got to pick her up soon, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing is, $1 Million Baby, she's not even like at her age yet. And she's done so much so far. Right? Am I right?
You're right.
She's like, what, she 18? She's 18, 19 years old now, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how old she is.
Like, she can't even wrestle in New York yet.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, she's only wrestled in Tennessee and West Virginia. 18.
Yeah.
In New York. Like, you said you started wrestling at 14, right? $1 Million Baby?
I did.
Did you know here we go. This is a funny thing. We interview people from like overseas in England and stuff like that. Did you know that they start wrestling at, was it 12 years old, Geek?
12 years old. Yeah, I think it's
12
like
years old?
12. It's like 10 or 12. It's
10 or 12 years old in England. They start wrestling.
That's pretty cool.
So you tell them 12, they'll be like,
I'm a pro.
You're old.
Like, by the time you get 16, they're pro for sure.
They'll be looking at you like, you're too old. We started here at 10 years old. Like, at me at 10 years old, I was still going, no. That's how it
yeah. I
Like,
probably can't do that right now.
No.
Or getting your parents to agree to it would be another thing too.
Yeah, my dad would be like, I'm not going to let my son get in the ring, risk breaking both legs after he jumps off the top rope. Oh, like no. Like,
yeah. So I think Harley has a question from you. What's the advice you could give for a new that wants to be a wrestler?
What advice I would give for a new who wants to be a wrestler?
Like, what advice would you give new wrestlers, basically?
Basically, always take in, if somebody comes to you after a match and you seem like they're like jumping down your throat or criticizing you, always take it in, because technically they're not criticizing you. They're just trying to make you better. It's always easier to listen to somebody who's actually sat in the back and watched your whole match. So when you get done with your match and people are coming to you and it seems like they're jumping down your throat, they're really not. They're actually trying to teach you something. They're telling you what you can do to improve yourself, instead of being like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, or, just being some kind of way about it. They're actually trying to help you. Always keep your mind open. I wouldn't take it as negativity, though, for sure. I mean, take it all in, listen to what they said, and then if you have a copy of that match, go back and watch it, and you'll actually see what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these days when it comes to wrestling, it's always good to be in a show with like a younger talent, like the new, you know what I mean? Like the, like Billy Starks and the, some of the ladies that we've just had on our podcast, kind of like, oh my God, Kobe Max's and the Judy Hendricks, I was going to say that, and Holly Hoods and people like that. So if they come over to you, you're like the Hulk Hogan to them, because you've been in the business longer than them. So you can give them all advice at the same time and be like, you're like the tree that's teaching all these young saplings what to do and how to do it. what I mean?
And in return, the young ones might teach you something that you don't know or haven't learned or something along the way as well. Everybody has a different style and everybody wrestles different. And if you haven't seen somebody wrestle like that person, you might learn something new. So it's always good to just, sit back, watch, and if somebody has any pointers or tells you something, just always take it in.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But I always think nobody's better than the next person. Everybody, we all out here, we put on a show, we give the crowds what they want. So, you always want to leave them wanting more. And that's always been my goal. I always go out there and give 110%, no matter how I feel or what's going on in the real world. It's just my job is to go out there and give the fans what they want.
Do you have any upcoming shows or?
Actually, right now I don't. I normally do Saturday night shows at EIW on Saturday nights. I go down there because literally it's like 15 minutes up the road. I do have Liberty Pro coming up June 18th, which is customs. So pretty interested and excited about that because I always get to wrestle somebody new, which is always a plus. And meet so many new girls that are just now getting into the business or that's been in the business a while that I haven't met.
Do you have any social medias that people can find you or?
I do have Facebook. I haven't really played around with Instagram. I know that's probably kind of bad, but mainly I just do on Facebook at the moment.
Okay.
We want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast, by the way. You've been awesome.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right.
We definitely want you to come back in a future episode. So we hope you have a nice day, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with these two dudes you don't know.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. When we end it off,
go ahead.
More about wrestling.
Go ahead.
I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm the Metal Geek.
And we will catch you in the next one.